Woo! Oh, cough squad. Hello, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Continuing on in the best 10 in the makeup categories. Today we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite things, and that is blush. Obviously, like videos past, I've just accepted the fact that I'm going to be talking about formulas mostly on a whole. Other than, you know, top 10, which I will be doing. I'm probably going to be the ones that aren't eyeshadow palettes. I'm probably going to be doing like top 10 favorite formulas, and then I'm gonna be forcing myself to do top 10 favorite singles. Even though that is going to be beyond hard and painful for mother to tell one child she loves it more than the other. But it has got to be done. Y'all said you would like to see that. But for now, I'm going to be going into blushes. There's going to be a lot of formulas. If you don't like that, click out and wait for the top 10 singles. Alright, so first off, I mean, let's address the elephant in the blush room. Too Faced, I always forget. Fruit Cocktail Blush Duos. These are amazing. These are my favorite. If you love a satin to shimmery, occasionally glittery blush, these are for you. I will say the only inconsistency we have is actually in the one I'm wearing today. This is in the Plum Granite one here. Just the fact that this one can go on just a titchy bit patchy, and you want to be careful because it sometimes doesn't want to blend. It's also literally got like little flecks of blue glitter. So while I was like looking up and close, I'm like, I thought I cleared up all the fallout, but it was just from this. They have a myriad of colors. We've got strawberry. Absolutely love that one. We've got Like My Melons, absolutely love that one. Papaya Pop going on right here. One of my favorite fall and winter blushes, Cherry Bomb. Apricot in the Act, and Berries and Bubbly, which is very much going to need to be for pale people. If you have deeper than me, be very wary about buying this because the pigment is just on the very subtle side. But I absolutely love the formula. Y'all know, basically ever since those have been released, I have been talking about them. They're just my favorite. Y'all know I love a bright, illuminating blush. And those have it in spades. They're just, I cannot recommend those enough. And then if we're going to talk about, you know, illuminating blushes, we might as well discuss the other obvious product, the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duos. With this, you're getting like 3 blushes in one. You've got the matte side, which is like, it's matte, but it's not a harsh, like, I don't have any hydration to my skin matte. And then you've got the shimmer. They're pigmented enough to wear either on their own or done together. That's how I like to roll. This here is Soft Peach, Sweet Mulberry, which is such a unique shade. Done ever so lightly. This is absolutely stunning. Mojave Mauve right here. Warm Honey, Pink Dahlia, and Spiced Cinnamon. These are just absolutely amazing. Cannot recommend them enough. I mean, all of these are going to be like, I can't recommend them enough. The formula is amazing. Go pick your shade. Worth every penny. You get a lot of versatility out of them. The formula absolutely to die for. Okay, the next formula, we actually don't have a lot of shades. I believe is there 2 or is there 1? But these are the Juvia's Place blushes. They've got like a really red one and then kind of a more like orangey NARS Orgasm, but better. I wish they would come out with a whole range of single blushes. They are pigmented. They look airbrushed on the skin. I don't know why I don't see them more in people's collection or more people talking about them, because you always hear about people talking about Juvia Place eyeshadows, but I'm like, y'all, their blush and their liquid lipsticks are like two really great formulas. They're really, really good. They're gorgeous. I think they're like $8. They are just absolutely fantastic, and I reach for those so much. Even as like a pale pasty person, I still reach for that deep red one because it's a perfect formula of pigmented and smooth and blendable. I need a 20 shade range. Then also on the lower price point, kind of an obvious one, are the Milani Baked Blushes. This is very much a tried and true formula, even though I feel like not as many people talk about them. I mean, they were really big probably 5 or 6 years ago, but they're still a fantastic formula. I will say though, for the majority of the shades, if you don't like a shimmery, possibly glittery blush, stay away. Stay very far away. But as someone who lives for a illuminating, shimmery, possibly glittery blush, I love it. They've got Luminoso, although apparently they changed the color of that and people aren't happy. But they have these beautiful, gorgeous, they just deliver this lovely, I'm like, I can't speak because they're so amazing. They're pigmented, they're smooth, they're blendable. I will say you do want to tread lightly because they are heckin' pigmented. Like, you need like one little, just a kiss, or else you're gonna go clown real quick, which if you do, and sometimes I do, that's fantastic. But I feel like this is a formula at the drugstore on a more affordable price that is just so good. The wearability, the color selection, it's just anytime I want to have that like radiant, sun-kissed, colorful cheekies, those are the ones I'll be reaching for. Then a random formula, that's a formula that I bought just because I was like, I mean, why do we buy anything? Oh, I want to try it. But the Milk Cosmetics, their matte blushes as well as their blush lights. These are an absolutely gorgeous and hideously underrated formula. The matte ones are like pigmented, but they're the kind of pigmentation you can work with and you can build up. They look smooth and seamless and airbrushed on the skin. And then the blush lights are these like really beautiful, unique colors that, once again, they're a shimmery blush, like they're very shimmery, but they're a shimmery blush formula that doesn't accentuate texture or emphasize pores like the matte ones. They just look so smooth and perfect and diffused. And once again, like you hear people talking about Milk Cosmetics, you know, their eyeshadows, their liquid lipsticks, but I'm like, but these are good. And if there was a shade expansion of that, I would be down like nobody's business. Another affordable option. Face products that are affordable just make me happy inside. I honestly think partly because y'all know I'm somewhat of a completionist. Because when I like want all the shades because the formula be banging. The Lottie London Blush Crush, is that what they're called? They're sold at Ulta and they're like $5.49. And they are amazing. They're almost the like perfect dupe for the Too Faced Love Flush blushes, which Too Faced discontinued because they're stupid. But these, they're I think 5 or 6 shades, and they're the price point, and then the fact that they're once again this beautifully like mid-level pigmentation that is easy to work with, and you can build it up, and while you build it up it doesn't start to look gnarly on your skin. Like I keep saying, they're smooth, they're soft, they're pigmented, they're airbrushed, they're diffused. Like I feel like the description of one there's only so many descriptive words we can use, but these are so nice. They just look, they're so easy to work with. You just like doot doot doot, boop boop boop, and you are good to go. They are stunning. And they're matte ones. They're matte, but they're not so matte, because usually I like illumination. Y'all know that. And these are, but they're matte without being my face has no dimension matte, which is definitely something that I look for in any kind of face product. Another illuminating blush favorite are the Ciate Glow 2 illuminating blushes. Now, part of the reason I like these, like a lot of the illuminating blushes I've talked about, like the Milani and the Milk Cosmetics, and when, you know, they're very pigmented. You tread carefully. These ones are more like a Tarte blush, you know, where they look great on the skin, they're beautiful, but you have to, you know, work a little more. You're not gonna over pigment on the first go. And I think that's great because sometimes an over pigmented blush can be a little scary. And so for on days that I want something that's a lot more natural, that's a lot more ethereal, a lot less punchy and in your face, I will reach for one of these. They are great. They look beautiful. If you're doing bride makeup, you're doing prom, you're doing like dewy, beautiful, more natural makeup, these are perfect. And it also doesn't hurt that there are these cute little teeny tiny embossed whatevers. Ciate has a very cute overall aesthetic. Then I feel it wouldn't be a favorite blush video without talking about, now I think Too Faced is thinking about pulling these from their shelves because they're stupid. But the original Too Faced Love Hearts Candy Flush blushes. These were my first love. I mean, it was literally like these, especially when they came out with the peach Bellini one. I lost my mind. I was like, a beautiful orangey peachy illuminating blush, F me up. And to this day, that is one of my, that is one that could be a singular favorite blush. I love it. I love it. Once again, if you want, like I feel like, for all you people that love matte and satin, I'm so sorry. I just tend to really like illuminating. And if Too Faced does discontinue them, I will riot. But I think they only have a few shades left on Ulta. I'm not sure about on TooFaced.com. Obviously, links will be down below for y'all. They're just so beautiful and so near and dear to my heart, and they're such a classic, and I'm constantly like, it's one of those things where like you have like a top 5 favorite in like color schemes that you just keep rotating out of, and I'm like, oh, peachy pink or that beautiful rosy red or the light pink or the lighter peach, you know, it's one of those usually that I grab for. Another favorite that is so near and dear to my heart, as well as my complexion, because my complexion loves it. The Natasha Denona blush duos. Now these are pricey, $38. Carissa Becca blush is $38 too, but they are worth every blinking penny. But you get the blush, and then you get the only bad thing I have to say about them is the majority of them have the same highlighter in the highlighter side. I would feel a lot better about the $38 if they were like, ooh, here's the blush color and here's a coordinating shade, rather than just being like, we're gonna stick the same highlighter shade in every single blush. And I'm like, you know, you buy a lot of them and you've got the blush, but you've got 12,000 of the same highlighter. But that aside, I digress. They are a near perfect formula. I mean, the first time I put this blush on my face, it was a moment of mental clarity. I was just like, yes, this is what my complexion can look like. I mean, I didn't know there was such a thing as like a texture / pore diffusing blush, but I know now. You have got texture or wrinkles or pore problems. You want a blush that's gonna airbrush away, that's going to take the years off of you and replace them with a beautiful flush of color. These are your thing. Cannot recommend them enough. They're just, they're so good. And then to round this out, I feel a little bit about talk about this. I did in my highlighter video too. But Wet n Wild. I mean, we just have to face the fact that I have products of theirs in my collection that I'm going to use up and all that jazz, so I'm gonna be honest about my opinion on them. And that is that they're the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes are fabulous. They're less than $5 a piece. They've got a nice range of colors and they're so nice. These, price point wise, as well as like pigmentation and quality wise, they're a fantastic beginner blush because they're pigmented, but they're kind of like that Lottie London where they're just pigmented enough for you to be able to work with them and build them up if you want more saturation, but not so unpigmented that you're like, where is it? I need to look rosy. For a while there, the Rosé Champagne and another one, which I'm failing to remember. Those were two of the main blushes that I was just reaching for out of like everything. Out of high end, out of low end, out of mid, whatever. I just loved the way that they looked. And they're still absolutely fantastic. I mean, they're a lovely formula. I should honestly try project panning some of their stuff, although the thought of project panning a blush is kind of sets me a little bit panicky because like I've project panned like highlighters and powders and I'm like, a blush is gonna take like years. But you know, say what you will about Wet n Wild currently in the current climate, but these blushes are still some of my absolute favorites, and I can't not recommend something to you that I have in my collection that I think is really good. But there were the top 10 favorite formulas. Like I said, I hope I'm not a cop-out. Y'all are probably really tired of hearing that. You're like, well, you've said that in the last couple of videos. Shush. But obviously, let me know what you think about these blushes. Let me know what some of your top favorite blushes or blush formulas are. I love hearing about new things to try. I love it when I'm able to connect with y'all and be like, oh, I love that too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah!